Okay, so, ever been on a cruise?
Always wanted to try one.
Right. They seem kind of, I don't know, luxurious.
Relaxing, yeah.
Exactly. But imagine that luxury cruise turning into, well, a shipwreck.
Okay, no, that's a different kind of adventure.
Yeah, full on, storm raging, terrified to your core shipwreck, the kind that leaves you clinging to driftwood and hoping for the best. That's the starting point of this children's story, The Three Adventurous Children. And honestly, it gets surprisingly deep.
What I find so interesting is how these stories, the ones we might dismiss as just kids' stuff, often grapple with really complex ideas about resilience and facing fear,
Yeah.
even on a subconscious level.
It's true. So we've got Sam, Leah, and Alex, right? A family vacation, supposed to be fun, but it goes from smooth sailing to, like, Lord of the Flies real
I was
fast.
just thinking that the contrast is stark.
Right. And the way the story describes the storm, it's visceral. It doesn't shy away from the danger. You've got the waves crashing, the ship groaning, then bam, they're plunged into the ocean. It's a powerful image, that sudden loss of security.
Definitely. And it's that abrupt shift from comfort to crisis that resonates, even in real-life survival stories.
Oh, absolutely.
That moment where everything familiar is ripped away and you're forced to adapt. The people who make it, they often talk about that initial burst of action, the way they had to push through the fear and just do something, anything.
And that's exactly what these kids do. They get washed up on this deserted island, soaking wet, probably terrified, but they don't even think about giving up.
You know, it's almost primal,
Totally.
that instinct to survive.
It's like a switch flips and they go into survival mode, building a shelter, figuring out how to find food, making fire. They become amazingly resourceful almost overnight.
Which speaks to the adaptability of humans, don't you think?
Definite.
Even in the face of the unknown, our ability to not only survive, but to innovate, it's remarkable.
And it makes for a great story. But just when they've carved out a little piece of peace on this island, guess what appears on the horizon?
Let me guess. It's not a rescue boat.
Nope. It's a pirate ship, complete with skull and crossbones, I'm assuming.
Classic.
Right. It's like the story shifts gears from survival to, okay, now we've got a whole other problem to deal with.
And this is where things get really interesting, because it's not just about pirates being the bad guys. It's about this idea of injustice, right?
Yeah.
This assumption that these pirates can just sail in and take what they want, thinking the island is theirs for the taking. It mirrors so many real-world power dynamics, the way people in power throughout history have exploited those they saw as, well, less than.
And what's amazing is how the kids react. They've tasted freedom on that island, the kind you earn through blood, sweat, and probably a few tears.
Right, it's hard won.
Exactly. And they are not giving it up without a fight, even against a whole crew of presumably pretty rough and tumble pirates. Makes you think, what's worth fighting for? What wouldn't you give up without a fight?
It's a powerful question, isn't it?
Yeah, and it makes you realize these kids, they're not just reacting to the situation anymore, they're making a choice.
They stand their ground.
Yeah, they're choosing to protect what they've built. And that choice, that willingness to fight for what you believe in, even when the odds are stacked against you, that's a message that resonates no matter how old you are.
It really is. It's about courage, resilience, and believing in yourself, even when things seem impossible.
Exactly. Now, I don't want to spoil the ending completely for those who haven't read it.
Okay.
But let's just say, our three heroes, they're pretty clever. They use their wits, they use their courage, and they actually manage to outsmart the pirates. They secure their island home and get a pretty sweet new ride in the bargain.
See, who wouldn't want to be shipwrecked if it ended that way?
Right. But here's the thing that struck me. It's not really about winning the fight or even about getting the treasure or the pirate ship in the end, is it?
It's about the journey, isn't it?
Totally.
The transformation.
Yeah, it's about what they learn about themselves through the struggle. And that, I think, is what makes the story stick with you. It's not about the material rewards, but about that internal sense of accomplishment, knowing you faced your fears and came out stronger on the other side.
Absolutely. The real treasure is that resilience they discover within themselves. And it reminds us that we all have that potential to not just overcome challenges, but to actually grow from them.
Exactly. So as our three adventurers sail off into the sunset, ready for whatever new adventures come their way, it gets me thinking, what pirates are we facing in our own lives? What challenges, what fears seem so big, so daunting, that they feel like a pirate ship on the horizon? And maybe, just maybe, the story reminds us that we have more strength, more resourcefulness inside us than we realize. We might just surprise ourselves with what we're capable of, if we're brave enough to set sail and face those challenges head on. So what uncharted territory are you ready to explore? What adventure awaits?